So I just finished watching episode 4 of The Last of Us Season 2. If you clicked because of the title and thumbnail, I'll talk about that later in the video. Let's get into it. So the episode starts off with a flashback where we see a group of Fedra soldiers in a van. We see Josh from Drake and Josh tell a story about Fedra soldiers assaulting some citizens, who they refer to as voters. One of the soldiers questions why they're called voters, and the Fedra sergeant, Isaac, who's played by Jeffrey Wright, spoon feeds us the information. Given the context of Isaac's character and knowing what he becomes later on, this exposition dump is justified. Josh saying the word fuck so many times in the scene feels forced and doesn't sound natural. We see that the road is blocked by a school bus and the van is surrounded by people who are presumably WLF. Isaac gets out, along with another soldier. Shortly after talking to the WLF, Isaac then grabs a grenade, throws it into the van, and closes the door. We cut back to present day, where Ellie and Dina continue their journey through Seattle by searching for medical supplies. They eventually find an abandoned music store, and Dina tears up while watching Ellie play Take On Me on the guitar. Although it's a sweet moment, it felt like filler to me. After this, we see Isaac torture a member of the Seraphites. Overall, this scene isn't bad. There is some exposition dumping, but it's justified given that the Seraphite is fighting for his life and will say anything to convince Isaac that they're in the right. Eventually, Isaac realizes that he won't get any information about the Seraphite's next attack, so he grabs his gun and ends him. Ellie and Dina walk into a news station and see WLF members strung up and disemboweled. While examining them, they retrieve a functional walkie-talkie from a dead WLF soldier, but they're quickly forced to flee the scene when more wolves return to find their fallen comrades and search for their perpetrators. Before Ellie and Dina escape from the news station building, they're confronted by a couple of the WLF members, but they're dispatched. I think the fact that not a single WLF member didn't spot Ellie climbing up the stairs is unbelievable. Also, Ellie being able to put a grown man in a chokehold like this without the dude putting up any real fight is not really believable either. As more WLF members arrive, Ellie and Dina escape to an underground subway tunnel. They run through an upended train, hop over a fence, and attempt to exit the station through a rusted turnstile. Except Dina can't make it through. As one of the infected lunges toward Dina to bite her, Ellie sticks out her arm to shield her, giving Dina enough time to break free. They find refuge in a theater across the street. Dina holds Ellie up at gunpoint because she thinks Ellie is infected and will therefore turn into a zombie soon. Ellie confesses that she's immune to the virus and proves it by sleeping and waking up perfectly normal. Right after this, Dina tells Ellie that she's pregnant and they start having sex. Afterward, they talk about their future and the baby. So many things that happened during this scene felt so off. The first thing I'll talk about is the plot armor. So when the infected bites Ellie, we see it leave only a surface level wound that barely bleeds. This is plot armor. If it were anyone other than Ellie in this scene, their entire arm, or at least a large chunk of it, would have been ripped completely off. The infected in the show are portrayed as relentless and extremely dangerous. Hell, in episode 2, when Jackson was being overrun by the infected, we got a first-hand glimpse into how deadly they truly are. For one of them to have an opportunity to bite Ellie and leave such a surface-level wound breaks the immersion. Second, they violate the rule of show don't tell again. We see Dina basically exposition dump and explain to the audience why she decided to have sex with Ellie right after stating she was pregnant. It's during these exposition dumps where I really question why they keep feeling the need to spoon feed us information every single time. I also find it weird how they basically push Jesse out of the picture when it comes to raising the baby, as seen when Ellie states that she's going to be a dad. I find it to be pretty disrespectful considering that it's Jesse's baby and we haven't seen him have his say in the matter yet. The dialogue between Ellie and Dina outright suggests that Dina was envisioning a life where her and Ellie raised the baby together, which again reduces Jesse to a sperm donor, which is what they did in the game. Their romantic moment is disrupted by distant explosions and the WLF walkie-talkie crackling with Nora's name and location, a member of Abby's group. As they sprint to the roof to get a better vantage point, they see the war zone where Nora must be stationed, and they know where their next destination should be. Even though Ellie tells Dina to reconsider joining her now that they know she's pregnant, Dina refuses to let her venture out on her own, reinforcing that they'll do this together. This episode is proving to me that Bella Ramsey's portrayal of Ellie isn't enough to carry the show without Pedro Pascal's Joel. I hate to say it because I really want to enjoy this season. I want Bella Ramsey to prove me wrong, even though I've seen the games and know how this ends. On some other notes, I think Jeffrey Wright was a great choice as Isaac. He plays the cold, heartless leader that's fed up with the Seraphite conflict really well. I hate how they're casting aside Jesse as the sperm donor like they did in the game, but I'm hoping that they course correct his character arc. Going off Jesse, I think they could have at least shown or implied that he had sex with Dina before she went off on the trip with Ellie, so the pregnancy announcement would have been more believable. Having Dina say she's pregnant comes so out of left field because we barely see Jesse and Dina interact with each other. Their relationship is only spoken about. Lastly, Dina being shown as the rational one who has to stop Ellie and force her to think through her actions makes me like Ellie less and less. Even though I haven't watched the games in a while, I'm pretty sure the game didn't portray her as this incompetent and childish. As they continue to portray Ellie as reckless, it makes it harder for me to root for her, and I want to. That's all I have to say for now. Let me know what you guys think though. I'll be back here when the next episode comes out. Take care.